January 6th committee, they're saying Donald Trump may in fact be indicted, or at least that's where the information is going. Now, I'm going to highlight some nuances here because while the information being revealed in this committee presentation is colorful and shocking, it really shouldn't be, because there is nothing being confirmed that we did not already know. But it is shocking that there are some people who are actually willing to tell the truth. Isn't that ironic? That truth that we all know is being told by people that we did not believe could tell the truth, like Ivanka Trump or William Bill Barr. Members of the House Committee investigation said Sunday that they have uncovered enough evidence for the Justice Department to consider an unprecedented criminal indictment against former President Donald Trump for seeking to overturn the results of the 2020 election. Now, that's what they're saying. Okay, let's hope that's true, because obviously Donald Trump committed multiple criminal acts. But Biden, Biden may actually get in the way of this. There's more. As the hearings unfold, Representative Adam Schiff said he would like the department to, and I quote, investigate any credible allegation of criminal activity on the part of Donald Trump. Schiff, Democrat out of California, who also leads the House Intelligence Committee, said that there are certain actions, parts of these different lines of effort to overturn the election that I don't see evidence the Justice Department is investigating. Democrats say that will demonstrate that Trump and some of his advisors engaged in a massive effort to spread misinformation, pressured the Justice Department to embrace false claims, and urged then Vice President Mike Pence to reject state electors and block the vote certification on January 6, 2021. Damn it, we already know that. Everything they're saying, here's what our investigation has revealed. CNN told us that. I told you that. Everybody on this planet has already told you these things about what happened. So this is no news. And I want to highlight the language of Adam Schiff. It's telling. Make no mistake about it. While this investigation is necessary, it is performative. While this investigation is warranted, it is political. While this investigation is real, it is not. Do you really believe that they are actually going to arrest Donald Trump based on this investigation? The answer is no, that's not going to happen. Lawmakers indicated that perhaps their most important audience member over the course of the hearings may be Attorney General Merrick Garland. Well, if he's your most important audience member, you're screwed. Why is he the most important? Because he's the one that must decide whether his department can and should prosecute Trump. They left no doubt as to their own view whether the evidence is sufficient to proceed. Once the evidence is accumulated by the Justice Department, it needs to make a decision about whether it can prove to a jury beyond a reasonable doubt the president's guilt or anyone else's guilt is there. But they need to be investigated if there's credible evidence, which I think there is. Now, once again, this is Adam Schiff. I'm gonna go back to this quote because he said something that many of us missed. He says, once the evidence is accumulated, let's put the graphic back up. Once the evidence is accumulated by the Justice Department, not the committee, by the Justice Department, we have no indication that the Justice Department is actually investigating Donald Trump, number one. He says it needs to make a decision about whether it can prove to a jury beyond a reasonable doubt. That's the second phase. So the DOJ has to do an investigation, which we have no evidence that's happening. And then he's saying, and if they can prove beyond a reasonable doubt, then we can move forward. However, that is not the standard of a prosecution. People don't get prosecuted only because the prosecutor can prove beyond a reasonable doubt. you prosecute for the sake of justice. Let's go to the American Bar Association. It says, and I quote, prosecutors' duty is to first seek justice. It then says a prosecutor should seek or file criminal charges only if the prosecutor reasonably believes that the charges are supported by probable cause. The charges are supported by probable cause. That admissible evidence will be sufficient to support a conviction beyond a reasonable doubt. Evidence, okay? And third, that the decision to charge is in the interest of justice. That's your prosecutorial standard, not this garbage that Schiff is talking, okay? Now, Ivanka Trump was thrown under the bus by her daddy because initially she told the truth. She testified that she believed the attorney general over her dad. She knows her daddy is a liar. And she made it very plain. I believe William Barr. Now, let me say this. I tell the truth. We traffic in truth. I'd be damned if my daughter go and testify that I lied. But that's exactly what she did. So what did Donald Trump do? He decided to throw his own daughter under the bus. Here's what he said. Ivanka Trump, not my daughter, not my child, not my baby girl or my sweetheart. Ivanka Trump was not involved in looking at or studying election results, Trump said. She had long since checked out and was, in my opinion, only trying to be respectful to Bill Barr and his position as Attorney General. He sucked. Now, I want you to imagine you talking about your child in that way. That you are addressing your child on a social media platform by just calling out their name. Not my daughter, but Ivanka Trump. You see, Trump is sending a message to Ivanka that if you keep doing this, you are not my daughter. You are just Ivanka. All right, Sharon Reed, thoughts on this?
I'd sooner rather be on the playground and telling your mama jokes and snapping. This whole thing is just pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. But you know what? He's releasing these statements that are all over the place and lacking, it seems, a professional degree. But with Donald Trump, he's still unbothered. None of this matters, Rashad. He's unbothered. Last seen in the McDonald's drive-through, supersizing a meal. He does not care. He does not care. And why would he? Nothing's going to happen here, okay? It's not like he's a black man. He was the president of the United States who sold out his own people. But I'm most interested in the money, okay? Last time I checked, they shut you down on the GoFundMe for raising money off of lies. What about all the money? Some of it benefiting the Trump family. Kimberly Guilfoyle, the fiance, who was paid. There's reports she was paid for that January 6th speech. All of this is a farce and a circus. And if I'm a member of the jury, I'm asleep by now. You're right, we already knew so much of this. When are they gonna arrest him? McDonald's, golf course, you can find him one of two places.